Hi, I'm Jackson, and I'm going to tell you about what I think history is. History, or at least a large part of it, is a cycle of war and peace and injustice and justice. It's war without reason at the end of it, but really it's just a cycle that goes on. The cycle goes a bit like this. First, there's usually some sort of peace. Like, we aren't actively killing each other. And then person A does something to person B that person B deems unjust or offensive. It could be perfectly fine, it could be perfectly well deserved or perfectly just, but person B thinks, I don't like it. So person B decides to declare war on person A. Now, that starts war goes on, we know what war is, don't really need to talk about it too much. When war ends, peace comes back, and then the terms of peace can, cause the next war. Like, peace can directly bring about war, or peace can just be something in between two wars. Let's talk about first topic, World War I. So before World War I, the world and Europe were fairly peaceful. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it, super peaceful. I wouldn't say that there's no war going on, but I'd say it's not as much as, well, World War I. Now, the injustice that starts World War I is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which causes Austria to declare war and everything like that. World War I goes on, it's bad, then it ends with the Treaty of Versailles, which cripples Germany's economy and kind of brings about peace, but also sets up the next injustice. Which brings us to World War II, where peace of the Treaty of Versailles continues on to the 1930s. However, the Treaty of Versailles also acts as the injustice for Germany, because the Treaty of Versailles basically destroys the German economy and the German military, and leaves the German people wanting answers and wanting a solution, which they find in the form of Hitler, who then does some stuff that starts World War II. And then World War II ends. It's rather peaceful for the rest of the 20th century, up until our next topic, which is Al-Qaeda and Bin Laden. And the injustice that serves for this is mostly the U.S. involvement in the Middle East, and particularly our support of Israel and our military bases in Saudi Arabia. So Bin Laden gets angry at that and basically declares war upon the United States and, the West, and calls for every single Muslim to attack the United States, which doesn't really happen. However, the war there against the United States, or terrorist attack against the United States, include 1998 U.S. embassy bombing. Editing Jackson here. I found out after I recorded this video that the bombing on the World Trade Center was not in 1999, but instead 1993, and was not directly connected to Al-Qaeda. The uncle of one of the planners for the attack was related to Al-Qaeda, and I think that's where I got my confusion from. Sorry. 1999 World Trade Center bombing, which didn't go as planned, but still damaged the building. And then 2001 9/11, which is what sparked the next topic, which is the war on terror, or more in particular, in this case, the invasion of Afghanistan. So, after 9/11, George Bush declares a war on terror, which leads to the invasion of Afghanistan with the hope of finding Osama bin Laden. The initial invasion went fairly well. We went through Afghanistan pretty quickly. However, Osama and many members of Al-Qaeda escaped. We would get them later, but I'm not going to talk about that because they don't have time. So, the war kept going on until about 2021, when the US pulled out of Afghanistan and the Taliban took back over. That is the kind of peace at the end of the Afghan war, because I don't know what happens next, because it hasn't happened yet. Because that was 2021 and it's now 2025, and there's not been much that's happened in the meantime. And, yeah. That's it. Bye.